Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a powerful topic, gratitude. It can change your life, so let's jump right into it. See, in a world that often encourages us to move faster, achieve more, and constantly focus on what's next, gratitude invites us to pause and appreciate what is already here. I also want to thank you for being here today. Your presence matters. Your willingness to learn matters. Your willingness to grow matters as well. And your willingness to explore gratitude may very well change the course of your life. Maybe this is what you need to go in depth more. So today, I want to share not only what gratitude means to me, but how it has transformed my life and the lives of so many people I have had the privilege of mentoring. As a mindset and success mentor, international best-selling author multiple times, a podcast host of Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention, and a lifelong student of personal growth, I've met people from all walks of life. I've worked with individuals who felt stuck, people who felt burnt out, people who were successful on the outside but struggling on the inside, people who had lost hope, people standing at crossroads wondering, what's next for me? And throughout those conversations, I discovered something powerful. Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances first, it changes you first. And when you change, you begin to see yourself in circumstances much differently than before. See, many people wait until life gets better before they decide to be grateful. They tell themselves, I'll be grateful when I get the promotion. I'll be grateful when my business grows. I'll be grateful when I lose or release the weight. I'll be grateful when life becomes easier. But what if we've been looking at it backwards? I know I have been before. What if life becomes better because we become grateful? One of my favorite saying quotes is gratitude turns ordinary moments into blessings, routine jobs into joy, and ordinary opportunities into extraordinary possibilities. Think about that for a moment. Like, seriously, stop and think. Most people spend their lives waiting for the big moments, the dream vacation, the perfect relationship, the breakthrough, the financial success, the standing ovation. But life isn't lived in those moments. Life is lived in the ordinary moments. The morning coffee, the conversation with a friend, the smile from a stranger, the ability to wake up and have another chance to make a difference. Gratitude teaches us to stop postponing joy, because when we learn to appreciate what we have today, we stop allowing happiness to live in the future, and that changes everything. You know, there was a time when I went into personal development a couple years ago. I wanted a gratitude journal. Everybody talked about it, but I couldn't really find one anywhere in the store that met my expectations. Most of them were very short. So I actually created my very own gratitude journal. It's for the whole year, and every day you write three things you're grateful for. And then at the end of the week, you reflect on that, read some quotes, and you continue. But it's not only about writing, it's actually embodying what you're writing, feeling it. You know, you have to do that inner work. Nobody else can do it for you. So I created it and I use it almost every day. I'm not gonna lie, it's not every day. But because I've done it for so long before, now it just becomes natural. So my journey with gratitude. My life has been filled with incredible experiences. I've had the privilege of traveling to more than 50 countries around the world. Sometimes it was solo, sometimes it was group travel, family. There was a time I worked for a cruise line, and I've circumnavigated around the world. But I think one of the most meaningful trips, I would say, was when I went with World Vision Canada to El Salvador to build homes for the less fortunate. And it was an incredible experience. But when I was going, many people said, "Oh, why are you going? What's the point? Why are you spending money for that?" I mean, you could get sponsored, but I chose just to pay and go. Um, but it taught me so many valuable things. It made me realize what I want to do going forward. And then I got to write about it in the collaboration books I mentioned earlier. Like the ripple effect of impact is actually the one that I write about the journey to El Salvador, what it has taught me, and lessons going forward. Aside from all the other, there's about, I think, 23 authors in this book, all sharing the ripple effect of impact through their lives. Very good book. I've experienced different cultures, languages, traditions. I've walked through ancient cities like Peru, Machu Picchu, and so on. And one thing I've discovered is that happiness has very little to do with possessions. I've met people who had very little mentally, yet radiated joy like the children in El Salvador. I've met people who seem to have everything, yet were still searching for fulfillment. That taught me something profound. Gratitude is not determined by what you own, it's determined by what you notice. Sometimes we're so focused on what we don't have that we completely overlook the abundance already present in our lives, in our health, our families, our friendships, our experiences, the lessons we've learned, the opportunities we have been given, even the simple gift of being alive today. There were always seasons in my own life when things didn't unfold as planned. Moments of uncertainty, moments when doors closed, moments when I questioned what was next. Can you relate to some of that? I'm sure you can on some level. So life doesn't always go according to our plans. Sometimes the very thing we wanted doesn't happen. Sometimes the opportunity disappears. Sometimes the path forward isn't clear. But I've learned that gratitude isn't pretending everything is perfect. It's recognizing that there is still something valuable in every season. That's another thing I want to mention. I've created this little, well, I bought the book, but what I did is actually write all the things that I've ever received, big or small, money, gifts, in this little booklet. I mean, I could write forever, but this is just like a basic summary of things I've received. And in the moments when I feel really low, ungrateful, because the devil does whisper in our ears, pull out this book and I start reading. It's like, wow, I received this and I that and this. And I was like, wow. And I'm sitting here being ungrateful. How dare I? And that right away shifts me back to the proper mental state. I become grateful. I tell the devil to go away, don't bother me. And I bask in that gratitude. Sometimes that's all you need, just that realignment. So if you want to start a journal like that yourself, one day you might be reading it and you're like, wow, this is powerful. For me, it's powerful. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has their own tools they work with. But maybe you haven't heard of that, so start something like that. So sometimes we have to ask questions. What can I learn from the experiences I have? How can I grow from them? What gifts might be hidden inside the challenges I'm facing? One of my favorite mindset shifts is this. instead of asking, why is this happening to me? And I used to ask that question a lot when I was a teenager. Now I ask, what is this teaching me? That one question that has the power to transform frustration into growth. See, many of the greatest lessons I've learned did not arrive wrapped in comfort. They arrived wrapped in challenges. And only later did I realize those challenges were actually preparing me for something greater. The more grateful I became, the more reasons I found to be grateful. Like that little book that I sometimes pick up and read. Because when we focus, where focus goes, energy flows. When we focus on what's wrong, we find more reasons to be frustrated, right? When we focus on what's working, we create momentum. And momentum changes lives. So I hope you found something valuable in this video. Some people say it's just gratitude, but actually gratitude is the key in life. To be grateful for even the smallest things, the micro moments, the micro things we receive. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You know how to reach me probably by now if you've seen my channel before. And if you haven't, subscribed so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much once again for watching. Remember, gratitude is powerful. Practice it more often. Thank you and have an amazing day.